I was actually supposed to play golf that day, and it was kind of like overcast and drizzling a little bit in the morning. So it stopped, but two of the guys I was playing with decided they didn't want to play. So a couple of guys from work were having a couple of beers, and so I decided to join them, and just one thing led to another. I mean, it's it's a well-known story. It's you know, we started off one place, we wound up in a bar, and then, you know, and that was that. One of the guys at work, he was getting married the following weekend. In fact, his bachelor party was that night, and there were a few of us that weren't going because we had to work. Over the course of the day, from until just before the accident happened, probably anywhere from a dozen to 18 beers over the course of the day. Somebody I knew that, you know, he wasn't a cop, he was just somebody I know from the street, and he talked me into staying and having another beer with him, and I had a couple more. And no more than one or two, though, at that time. I didn't really have any money left, so. And after that, I know I left sometime around 8 o'clock. Got myself something to eat, and then I had no more cash left, so I went to the ATM. When I came out of the bank, I said, you know, I was already around 9 o'clock, and it didn't make much sense to go all the way back home and, you know, come back 2 hours later. So I figured I'd just go to the precinct and sleep. I knew I wasn't going out on patrol that night. I was going to be in the station house anyway. So at that point, to be honest, I felt more tired than anything. And that's why I didn't want to get on a highway and, you know, drive at 55, 60 miles an hour going home. And, you know, I figured the safest alternative would just to, you know, drive the mile back to the precinct. I didn't feel incapable. I didn't feel comfortable getting up on a highway between a combination of, you know, just not feeling right, feeling tired, and everything else. So I just remember driving down the road, and next thing I know, I thought I saw somebody in front of my car, and the airbag went off. And that's all I remember about the accident. I remember going to hit the brakes as soon as I saw there was somebody there, but by then it was too late. It was just... It's tough talking about this stuff. It was, you know, it was no surprise that I was going to get hit at the parole board. I mean, everybody knew that, but except my family. Just, you know, because of the publicity that was involved. You know, there were politicians involved as well. You know, it's just, you know, it was a horrendous thing that happened, and it was, you know, a lot of news coverage of it. So, you know, they want to set an example, so they're not going to let me go. It's totally out of my character what happened that day. It's not something I have ever done before, and something I'm never going to do again. Oh, I think the decision was made well before the interview. My family was kind of hoping that, you know, I would be released. My wife is having a really hard time of it, and so are my children. Everybody knows who I am. It's a small place, so. Most guys knew me before they found out what I used to do, so it's really like no big deal. There's a couple of guys that stopped talking to me, but for every guy that stopped talking to me, I got about 10 more that didn't talk to me before that do. So I read just about everything. I read history books. I read whatever whatever catches my fancy at that particular time. Because there's really not much to do. You're done with work in about a half hour or an hour, so you just sit around the rest of the day, read, or you get lazy after a while. I'd really like to tell them how sorry I am about what happened. I can't imagine the pain that I caused them. It's inexcusable. I'd ask their forgiveness, although, you know, if they could never forgive me, you know, I could understand that. But, you know, it's a horrible ordeal. You know, I don't know what I'd be able to say to them to make their pain go away. That's